Right, hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Trading Bitcoin with your host, Prof. Vays. Coming to you live as the markets are opened. I waited a little bit just so we can see what the stock market is doing along with Bitcoin. As you can see, I went back to the background of the financial summit in the Dominican Republic, August 1st to 6th. You see it on this side right here because I'm kind of on mirror image. So let's go straight to the charts and go from there. All right. So I think there was a data error here. TradingView messed something up because I do not recall the ending of last week's candle being at $31,800. So there's some kind of a bug in TradingView's weekly index for this price closed. Also, you can see that if that's the close, then the next second, the price would have fallen from 31,800 down to 29,100 in a matter of seconds. So whatever happened here is a bug, bad data point. And I think they used yesterday's price close for this price close or whatever the hell they did, right? But this is supposed to be a red candle that closed down here at the same price where a current candle has started. So keep that in mind when you are doing your analysis. So let's go with that analysis. We are looking at an MRI warning buy candle. And let's see if this turns into an MRI buy. It will not turn into an MRI buy if we remain above $31,500. Then this will stay as an orange arrow and never actually become a green arrow based on how the indicator works. Now, what can we say about the weekly scale? Well, on the weekly scale, we are still below the short-term moving average. We are below the intermediate-term moving average, both of which are declining. We're still holding the long-term moving average. This green line represents the area of when I would be bullish on a weekly scale. And now it feels like it's way too high. There's no reason to wait for $40,000 to be bullish on a week-long scale. So I can go ahead and lower that. I'm not expecting Bitcoin to be above 35,000 this week. So probably next week, if we close above that short-term moving average, we can start to feel a little bit bullish. But even then, all it will do is get us back to the prior swing low. Bitcoin has a lot of work to do before it would actually look bullish from a technical analysis standpoint on the weekly chart. Let's go to the daily chart, and then I'll come back to the 4-day chart. So very, very clearly, we broke against the probabilistic trend of a descending triangle. This is not statistically probable that this happens, but it happens quite often. I believe these triangles are accurate about 60–65% of the time. So that means 35 to 40% of the time they go the other way. So what happens when they go the other way? Well, the move is still projected to be similar. So this is a $3,500 move that would be projected. So it's a similar move as the move of the breakdown. The big difference is between a breakdown of the triangle and a counter move of the triangle is that the counter move to the triangle tends to happen a bit faster and more violently. The reason that is because more people tend to get positioned towards the downside, and then there is lots of short covering. That is why whenever a triangle breaks in the counter anticipated direction, the moves tend to be faster to reach their target. Okay, so once again, before I go to the 4-day chart, let's zoom in a little bit more. This is the 1 hour chart. The 1 hour chart is consolidating here at the top. We've broken below the moving average. So if we can break one more high, then that would be it for the tiny short position I had listed on my 4-day chart. I'll get to that in a minute. So here is the GBTC quasi ETF, and the premium has not really went up much. The premium hasn't really moved up all that much, even though we did bounce today, but give it a little more time. It's only 10:42 a.m. New York time. My computer is always on New York time. And we'll see which way that goes. Oil, I continue to be very bullish on oil, regardless of the, the geopolitical situation, because the chart is very, very bullish on oil. The last time we broke this prior swing high, we moved up a lot. So here we are doing it again. So I am expecting a very high price of oil. Gold continues to be a bit of a basket case, but it's still leaning bullish. The S&P is dropping today, but Bitcoin is holding its own right now. We can also look at Bitcoin's Arun indicator, and this would be an entry into the trade using the Arun if the price goes to a new high. Now, if we spend another day going down, then this thing would actually cross over at the most optimistic level ever. Like if you can cross over below 20%, and that's what would happen. One more, another day or two of consolidation here, and we could get the optimal cross once we break to a new 2-week high. So that's why this indicator is kind of useful. It indicated the time to go short, right, based on this indicator right here with this big candle on the 11th. On the 10th, actually. This little candle here activated. Well, technically, it's not a good short because it's taking place in the 50 percentile range. But when it happens in a sub 25 percentile range, that becomes a very interesting trading opportunity. Most of you are not familiar with the Arun. It's not a very popular indicator that people use, mostly because it's unreasonably simple. People tend to like the most complicated possible indicators, and they tend to forget about the simple ones. This is why people are drawn to Elliott waves, which are incredibly complicated, mostly because they are never wrong in the history of the world. If it's an indicator that is always right and is never wrong, of course it's going to be complicated. Same thing with things like what do you call them? The cloud, the Ichimoku cloud. I'm not a big fan of it. I find it to be overly complicated. I know it, I understand it, but it's not an indicator I use because it's overly complicated. But some people love complexity. I tend to like simplicity. This is probably one of the most simplest oscillators someone ever put together. And those of you that are interested, you could go to Learn Trading. It is all free, and it's explained in the oscillator section under the Arun right there. So you want to click that first link, and then probably some additional resources like here, 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 and over here. If something more advanced, you got to go to products and services, on-demand videos, and you'll have to purchase the technical analysis video where I explain it and talk about it. I do recommend it alongside the risk management video. All right, now let's go to this 4-day chart. This 4-day chart is a position allocation chart. We have broken out above the prior swing highs. Now, had I not stupidly put on this little tiny bearish position, this would have been the place to enter a nice bullish position. But hindsight will always be 2020. So what am I doing right now? I'm going to patiently wait one more day. I'm going to patiently wait one more day. This is why these positions are so small, so that you have the ability to alter these positions without any kind of panic in the situation. The prior position that was entered was break even. It did not make or lose any money. If this position does end up losing money, it's going to be a very, very tiny possibility, because the maximum you can enter is 100%, and this is only a 10% position. It was a little preemptively entered based on the break of this blue line, just like we have a break of this green line, but I need to make sure that this candle stays where it is. If the stock market continues to deteriorate the rest of the day, Bitcoin could find itself going down. Now, there's lots of global economic reasons as to why Bitcoin should be rising right now, and that's great. I would love for Bitcoin to go to 100K sooner than later. And there should still be plenty of time to align yourself for that position, considering how on a weekly scale, all we did was get back to the swing lows and the closing lows of 1 year ago in July. So we're not exactly a raging bull yet. So there's plenty of time to re-enter the positions to set yourself up for a move to 100,000. All right, I could look at other markets. I don't really want to look at other markets. I got to jump on a call. I totally messed up. I thought I had a call like an hour before. Turns out my call was actually when I started the video. So I moved the call to the top of the hour. So all I have is 10 minutes. I don't really want to spend too much time looking at IWM, which is the Russell. I think IWM is the Russell. We can see that the Russian ruble is once again started to appreciate. I'm hearing rumors that like the Russian central bank is now trying to weaken the ruble because it has gotten unreasonably strong, and that's starting to mess with their economy. Yeah, so all kinds of stuff is going on. I spent a fair amount of time catching up on the Ukraine stuff. I had a nice 11-hour flight back to the United States from Turkey. And I just downloaded, I didn't sleep on that flight because I wanted to align myself with the US time zone and not be on the Turkish time zone. So that meant that since I landed in the US around 10, 11 p.m., I didn't want to sleep. So I spent the entire 11 hours watching on 2x speed videos about the Russia-Ukraine situation so I can be fully up to speed. And I'm not going to talk much about it. To me, it's pretty obvious where this is going and how it's been progressing. I've pretty much been right about my views on the situation that I've mentioned before. Or all I will show you guys is which YouTube channels I caught up on to hear what's going on. So perhaps you will do the same. You can follow the Financial Summit as well. But in case you're wondering what I'm watching, I do watch, I did catch up on the Gonzalo Lira's third YouTube channel because his prior ones have stopped. The Duran has amazing daily coverage of the Ukraine situation. Also Amit, that's the Indian gentleman who does a great neutral job trying to explain all global situations, including Sri Lanka and Pakistan. And his latest video was, the grain situation, and feeding, the world now that there's a Ukraine-Russia conflict. Alexander is actually part of the Duran, so you can catch him on the Duran. He has his own channel. Also, Military Summary is great. Military Summary is a great channel. I recently discovered it. Something to watch every day. It's again, very neutral view of looking at the maps that the Russian Federation puts out of what territory they're occupying and the Western side, like the Ukraine side, putting out their maps of what areas they're occupying. And then he kind of course, there's going to be discrepancies. Russia say we have this land covered. Ukraine says we have this land covered. He basically just tries to make sense of the maps and tries to, analyze what is the next step for each army. Great channel if you also want to catch up on what's going on the Russia-Ukraine situation. So there you go. So these are the Duran is out of the UK. Gonzalo is in Kharkov. And, a job of an intelligent person is to figure out which people are more likely to tell the truth and what their motivations are for lying. And these channels that I watch, if I am unable to come up with, motivations as to why these people would be lying, the default position is they're not lying. Most other channels, I can easily come up with reasons as to why they are, providing a certain view. The same could be said for the crypto channels. Like if you know the motivation of a person making the video, then it's easier for you to determine how factual is what they're saying, or whether what they're saying is completely biased. So that's how you can decide which channels you should be watching in any, on any topic, basically. What are the motivations of the person doing the videos? My motivations are simple, other than selling a couple of educational videos, which will eventually become free over time. The only other motivation is, of course, trying to get people to join the events that I organize. So hopefully you guys will come to the Financial Summit, where we try to put together between 50 and 75 amazing financial individuals. Someone says, I may have missed it, but did you see Russia is willing to accept Bitcoin from strategic partners? I tweeted that out over a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago, where one of the Russian authorities on energy stated publicly that they would accept any means of payment that makes sense. And he specifically said we would accept, the Russian currency. We would even accept gold. We accept the currency of our allies, including Turkey, which is kind of crazy because their currency is literally devaluing as we speak. And he also said even Bitcoin. He said if Bitcoin becomes a popular means of payment, we'll take Bitcoin. I tweeted this out. I heard it in Russian. I translated it word for word, and I sent out a tweet. BTC.D. Yes, Bitcoin dominance. I mean, maybe one day I'll put together my own formula for Bitcoin dominance. I don't know what they're using for Bitcoin dominance. It is finally bouncing. Not really sure what that means. How would I treat Bitcoin dominance? I would basically adjust Bitcoin dominance for Bitcoin versus, say, top 100 shitcoins, including Ethereum, of course. So Bitcoin versus the top 100 shitcoins, not the top 5,000 shitcoins. Bitcoin versus 100 shitcoins. And from there, I would still kick out the ones that don't have much trading volume. So I would actually do a Bitcoin dominance chart based on on-chain activity and trading volume. That's how I would treat it. And by that metric, Bitcoin is probably at 70–80% right now as it is. So I don't know what this means. But over time, the way I see it is Bitcoin will probably go down in Bitcoin dominance, trending towards 0 against all the shitcoins combined, but it would trend towards 100 against any individual shitcoin. So in a world of 1 billion shitcoins, there will not be a single shitcoin that is more than 1% of Bitcoin's dominance, basically. and eventually not more than 0.5% of Bitcoin dominance. So every individual shitcoin would trend towards zero, but in aggregate, considering there is absolutely no limit on how many shitcoins you can create, it really depends how they built this index and what the backend formula is. So until I know the backend formula, I'm not really sure what this chart even means. Yeah, so like I said, I just came from Turkey. It was very, very frustrating in Turkey. Used to love going to Turkey, but now that their currency is grossly devaluing, people there don't really want to do anything because they don't really get paid for it. Taxis don't want to pick you up. Ubers don't work. Waiters don't really care. It's becoming like Egypt, to be honest with you. Like, it's the same like problem I have with Egypt. I actually went to Turkey right after Egypt, and I was so happy that I didn't have to deal with these problems anymore once I got to Turkey for the first time. I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago. And now I was just there, and it's starting to remind me of Egypt. If you've been to Egypt in the last 5 years, you know what I mean. And that's unfortunate. But I was also in Istanbul. Maybe if I go out into the heart of the country, it won't be as bad. Is there a stream, an official summit similar to Unconfiscatable? No, absolutely not. The financial summit is a $10,000 event, and a lot of strategic information on investing and trading gets shared there. So it's not even in consideration to make any of that public. We are considering recording all of the sessions and discussions, but only provide those to the financial summit attendees, even like past summit attendees. So maybe one day we will just give these videos to those that have attended in the past. But we also don't want these videos getting out into the general public. So far in the 2 financial summits that we have done, we have never recorded any of the sessions, which is unfortunate because so much good stuff has been said there. No, wait, I'm lying. We did record these sessions in Bali in 2019, but we only provided them to the conference attendees. We never even considered releasing these sessions publicly. But yeah, we have some of the upgraded rooms are being sold out. So those that want to, pick up a nicer room for the week, eventually all the nice rooms, all the extra rooms will probably sell out. But we still have a bunch of, regular rooms, which are very nice. You get these are some of the nicer rooms in the entire resort. It's just that these are the nicest rooms in the entire resort. This one has stairs into a giant pool directly from your living room. Super cool. All right, guys, I got to jump on a call. It's the top of the hour. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all on the next video. In the next video, I guarantee you this will change. But once again, I'm going to stay patient, and I'm going to give this another 24 hours to see what happens. Bye, guys.